A few years ago, I was completely broke. Well, almost. And it wasn't because I wasn't making enough money, and it wasn't because I didn't have any support or anything like that. It was because I had a spending problem. And today, I want to talk to you guys about the top 4 things that I learned being essentially broke and how to manage a budget. My first mistake was, my first mistake was not budgeting at all. But my second first mistake was I used to always look at my savings at the end of the month after I was done spending everything. So that was my first lesson, was save first, not last. Think about it. The purpose of budgeting is to make sure you have enough money for all of your expenses, but also to save money. And those savings can be for anything, right? Lots of people prioritize different things. You can prioritize your retirement savings, or some people will prioritize a down payment for a house. Some people just prioritize seeing that little number on their computer screen just go up and up and up. Regardless, budgeting is about saving, which I was not doing. I would spend all of my money, have all of my expenses, and then at the end of the month, I would have, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 bucks left over, and I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. I'll put that in my savings. I saved this month. Good job. But that is a really bad way to budget because you're not actually saving consistently at all, which leads me to my very first piece of advice, which is to automate your savings. Whenever you get your paycheck, make sure you're setting up your direct deposit so that you're saving first and not last. This means if you have an investment account set up, then automatically 5 to 10% direct deposit should go over there. If you've got a high yield savings account, automatically 5 to 10% should go directly over there. So now that you have saved your money first, you can think of that leftover money as what you actually budget off of. Okay, so let's walk through maybe a super simple example. Let's just assume that you make $50,000 after taxes, right? Instead of budgeting off of $50,000, make sure you send your $5,000 or 10% into your savings first, and then budget off of the remaining $45,000. Now, since you only have $45,000 left that you're working with, maybe you opt for that cheaper apartment. Maybe you opt to get a used car instead of a new car. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're starting your budget at this slightly lower number because you're saving first. And if you guys do want me to get into the exact percentage splits and exactly how I do my budget, then make sure to smash that like button down below and subscribe to the channel, and I'll make that video for you guys and walk through every detailed step-by-step of how I make my budget. On to my second piece of advice, which is stop listening to other people. What is important to them isn't necessarily what's important to you. Take me, for example. When I moved to Arlington, Virginia, I asked every single person that I knew in the area, why are you where should I live? And every single person told me, there's a neighborhood in Arlington called Clarendon. You want to live there because it's got all the best restaurants, it's got all the best bars, bunch of young people live there, so it's easy to make friends and get out and about. It's super close to Washington, D.C. You can just metro over, and everyone really hyped up this city. So I said, okay. So I rented myself a 700 square foot, 1-bedroom apartment for $3,000 a month. Well, newsflash, YouTube, I kind of just like staying inside. And it was one of the dumbest decisions I made because I know this about myself. If I'm not working my regular 9-to-5 job, I'm hanging out with you guys. I'm making videos. I'm editing videos. That's what I like to do. So I basically never or very rarely left my house. Living in Clarendon made 0 sense for me. So once that lease ran up, I actually moved a little further west from Washington, D.C. to my current place where same size apartment, same amenities, honestly, a little bit nicer of a building, and I pay $2,200 instead of $3,000. That is an automatic $800 savings per month. Point being, stop listening to other people. Do the things that are important to you and you'll be happy. On to number 3, one of my biggest mistakes. Stop including your annual bonus in your budget. This isn't uncommon. A lot of corporate jobs will offer a year-end bonus to their employees. For me, I used to be an investment banker, and almost half of your total compensation as an investment banker comes from this year-end bonus. So I would start spending this money before I even got it, right? I would plan lavish trips. I would buy myself a new laptop. I would buy equipment for YouTube even. So I would start spending this money before I even got it. And then just tell myself, oh, when I get that bonus, I'll just replenish that money. It'll be fine. But guess what? Sometimes bonuses get canceled because companies don't do well. And now here I am, and I've always done this because I'm a crazy person. I've spent all this money on a bonus that I thought was going to come, and then the bonus never came. So now I'm scrambling around. I got all this credit card debt. I can't replenish my savings money, and I'm freaking out, YouTube. I'm freaking out. So point being, don't be like me and don't include your annual bonus in your budget. Don't do it. My fourth and final piece of advice is try new methods of budgeting. What works for someone else might not work for you. Maybe you like zero-based budgeting. That's great. Maybe you like envelope budgeting. That's also great. There's no wrong way to do this as long as you keep yourself accountable and do the budgeting. There are also millions of apps out there that do a great job. I personally use Quicken, not necessarily a sponsor, but hey, if you guys are looking for one, happy to do it. The absolute worst thing that you can do is give up on budgeting just because some app or some method doesn't work for you. Trust me, when I first started budgeting, I was literally putting all of my expenses into an Excel spreadsheet because that's what worked for me. And if that still works for you, go ahead. Do that just as long as you get started. So anyways, those are my top 4 pieces of advice for those of you that are trying to budget and save some more money. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more videos. As always, I'm your favorite ex-investment banker, Jerome, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.